The oncologist's voice lingered in my mind as I sat in my parents' living room, watching them leaf through wedding venue pamphlets. Stage III. Urgent treatment needed. We must begin right away. The Four Seasons in Maui has availability. My mother gasped, holding up a vibrant image of an oceanfront haven. Evangeline, wouldn't this be ideal for your brother's wedding? My brother, Ethan, beamed, his fiancée, Claire, practically glowing beside him. It's $150,000 for the venue alone, but you only tie the knot once, right? I cleared my throat. About my treatment. Oh, Evangeline, not now, Dad interrupted, calculator in hand. We're sorting out the wedding budget. Your situation can wait. My situation, terminal cancer. The disease that would end me in 8 months without intervention. The insurance won't cover the experimental therapy, I said, raising my voice. Dr. Larson says it's my best hope, but it costs $200,000 out of pocket. The room fell silent. Mom set down the pamphlet, and for a fleeting moment, I thought they'd truly heard me. $200,000, Dad's tone was taut. I know it's steep, but Grandma's trust is for family crises, he cut in. This is a crisis, Dad, I have cancer. Mom and Dad exchanged glances. Ethan fidgeted, while Claire suddenly became engrossed in her nail polish. Sweetheart, Mom began, using her soothing preschool teacher voice. You're young, you're resilient. There must be cheaper treatments. Standard chemo has a 15% success rate for my condition. The experimental therapy offers 70%. Those are just statistics, Dad said dismissively. Doctors always exaggerate the severity. Remember when Ethan fractured his ankle? They said he'd never run track again, and look at him now. Ethan hadn't touched a track since high school, but correcting him would sidetrack the discussion. He only gets married once, Mom added, picking up the pamphlet again. Claire's family has influence. This wedding could open doors for Ethan's company. Ethan's company. His fourth failing venture, bleeding cash while he posed as a startup mogul on social media. I might only live once, I murmured. The silence stretched until Claire broke it. Maybe we could trim the guest list. Instead of 300, maybe 250. Mom gasped as if she'd suggested serving canned soda. We can't disinvite people. What would they say? That their daughter's life matters more than caviar platters, I offered. Don't be theatrical, Dad said. You'll be okay, you always are. Like when I had appendicitis and drove myself to the ER because they wouldn't leave Ethan's university graduation bash. I nearly died from infection, but sure, I was always okay. I left that night with their vague promises to consider options and look into it. 2 weeks later, the bank called about unusual activity in the trust account I was entitled to but couldn't access until I was 30, unless my parents, the trustees, released funds for a medical emergency. The account's been emptied, the banker said. $200,000 transferred yesterday. My hands went cold. Where did it go? I can't disclose details, but it appears to be payments to vendors in Hawaii. I sped to my parents' house, fury overshadowing the cancer itself. They were enjoying Sunday supper, the family gathered like a picture-perfect scene if perfection included betrayal. You took the money. Mom set down her spoon. Now, Evangeline, you used my treatment funds for his wedding. It's not your money, Dad said sternly. It's the family trust for family priorities. I'm dying. You're being melodramatic, Ethan finally spoke. Plenty of people survive cancer without fancy treatments. My buddy's aunt did. Your buddy's aunt had breast cancer. I have aggressive adenocarcinoma. You always have to be the center of attention, he muttered. I laughed, a hollow sound, because screaming wasn't an option. Yes, Ethan. I picked rare cancer to steal your spotlight. We've decided, Dad said, his executive tone unyielding. The wedding is crucial for this family's future. Your treatment will find another way. What way? Crowdfunding. Charity? The church where they'd flaunt Ethan's lavish wedding in 6 months. Right. I looked at them. My parents, who'd given Ethan cars, funded his failed ventures. Claire, already dreaming of her fairy tale day on my survival funds. And Ethan, my little brother, who I'd coached through exams, cheered through flops, and who now avoided my gaze. I hope it's a stunning wedding, I said softly. I hope the photos are flawless, the food divine, and it's the talk of the town. Mom smiled, relieved. You'll be my maid of honor, won't you, Evie? Claire asked. I'll be dead, I said bluntly. But I'm sure the photos will look great without me. I left as Mom called me selfish. The months that followed were torment. Not just the cancer, but the betrayal, spreading faster than any malignancy. I moved into a tiny apartment, sold my possessions, launched a crowdfunding page that raised $12,000. Friends pitched in. Strangers donated. My family shared Ethan's wedding registry instead. I started chemo, the standard kind, with its 15% chance. Alone, I drove to appointments, cleaned up my own sickness, watched my hair fall out in patches while Ethan posted about floral arrangements. The wedding loomed like a death sentence. Dr. Larson had given me 6 to 8 months without the experimental therapy. The wedding was in 6. A cousin mentioned it had ballooned to a $300,000 extravaganza, not just the venue but imported roses from Italy, a 12-piece orchestra, bespoke everything. They'd spent my future on table settings and lilies. I was too weak to be angry, too exhausted to resent. I focused on surviving, on breathing through another day, on the slim chance the chemo would outpace the cancer. Then something unexpected happened. I didn't die, not right away, not as predicted. The chemo worked not fully, not miraculously, but enough. The tumors shrank, not vanished but controlled. I was the 15%. I learned this alone in a clinical room, my oncologist cautiously hopeful. "You're not cured," she warned. "But you're stable. With ongoing treatment, you could have years, maybe decades." Years. I'd braced for months, and now I had years. The wedding was 2 weeks away. I hadn't spoken to my family in months, but they'd sent an invitation, embossed, probably $50 a pop. "Ethan and Claire request your presence." I wasn't going to attend. Then I saw their gift registry, still active, still being fulfilled. The audacity, demanding more after taking everything, flipped a switch in me. I RSVP'd yes. The universe has a twisted sense of humor. Days before the wedding, a filmmaker who'd been documenting cancer patient stories contacted me. My tale, the family betrayal, the 15% odds, the wedding, had gripped her. Would I allow her to film the event? Subtly, of course. How subtle? Hidden cameras. You wear a mic. We capture your family's reactions to seeing you alive. I agreed. Vengeance is a powerful reason to keep going. The wedding day was flawless, naturally $200,000 ensured perfection. I'd regained some weight, bought a wig mimicking my old hair, used makeup to mask my pallor. In my peach bridesmaid dress, Claire hadn't officially uninvited me, I looked almost like myself. The film crew was in place, disguised as standard videographers. I waited until the cocktail hour to enter. The Four Seasons had spared no expense. My life's funds had bought an island dream. I grabbed a sparkling water, couldn't drink, but the glass was a good prop and stepped into the ballroom. Mom spotted me first. Her face cycled through shock, relief, confusion, guilt. "Evangeline, you're here." "Surprise," I said calmly. I survived. The room buzzed as the news spread. The dying daughter, the family's tragic backdrop to the joyous couple, was here, alive, breathing. Dad approached warily. "You look well." "For someone who was supposed to be dead, you mean?" "Yes, I suppose I do." "Don't be grim," he scolded. "This is your brother's day." "Of course, how much did this day cost again?" His jaw clenched. "That's not appropriate. Neither is using someone's treatment funds, but here we are." Ethan appeared, Claire clutching his arm. "Evie, you made it." "In more ways than one," I said. "Gorgeous wedding, worth every cent of the $300,000, I bet." Claire's smile stiffened. They knew I knew the true cost. "The photographer needs family pictures," Ethan said, dodging the tension. "Perfect, I love family photos." We posed on the shore, my survival funds glittering in every detail, the imported blooms, the couture gown, the champagne pricier than my chemo copies. The photographer snapped away, the hidden cameras catching every moment. "How?" Mom whispered between shots. "The doctor said I had a 15% chance with standard chemo. I got lucky. But the experimental therapy would have given me 70%. Still, Ethan only gets married once, right?" At the reception, I gave a toast. The microphone felt weighty, but my voice held firm. "To Ethan and Claire," I began, raising my glass. "May your marriage be as resilient as my fight to survive." Uneasy chuckles. 6 months ago, as this wedding was planned, I was told I had 6 to 8 months to live. The treatment that could have saved me cost exactly what this stunning event did. But as Dad said, priorities were set. The room went still. The hidden cameras recorded every averted gaze, every uneasy shift. I'm here today not because of family support, but despite family decisions. I'm alive because of friends, strangers, and a 15% chance that somehow succeeded. So to Ethan and Claire, may your marriage have better odds than my treatment did. And may you never face a choice between your life and someone else's celebration. I set down the mic and walked out, leaving 300 guests in stunned silence. The documentary, The Cost of Survival*, aired 8 months later. It went viral before streaming. My family tried to block it legally, but truth is a defense. Their own words, recorded at the wedding, condemned them. Mom, we thought she was exaggerating. Dad, the wedding was an investment in our future. Ethan, she always makes everything about her. The fallout was swift. Ethan's startup, meant to benefit from the wedding, collapsed within weeks. Claire left him when hate mail flooded her workplace. Mom was asked to step down from 3 volunteer boards. Dad's golf club membership was quietly canceled. They came to my apartment with apologies, tears, claims of misjudgment. I didn't open the door. You made a choice, I said through it. You picked a celebration over my life, live with it. We're family, Mom wept. No, family shows up for chemo. Family doesn't steal your treatment funds. Family doesn't call you dramatic for dying. Your relatives, there's a difference. I'm not cured, I never will be. The cancer's managed, not gone, and I'll live in treatment, wondering if that 70% chance could have meant a cure instead of endless monitoring. But I'm alive. Spite, it turns out, is potent medicine. The documentary's settlement, plus the crowdfunding that surged post-airing, covers my ongoing care. I now speak at healthcare ethics seminars, discussing patient advocacy and family dynamics in medical choices. I show the wedding photos, $300,000 in orchids and elegance, while I fought to live, and urge doctors to examine their patients' support systems closely. Ethan sent a letter last month. He's a laborer now, living in a small apartment like the one I nearly died in. He wrote about loss, Claire leaving, his life built on my sacrifice collapsing. I didn't reply but sent him a wedding photo. The family on the beach, smiling in the Hawaiian glow my life had funded. On the back, I wrote, "Stunning wedding, worth every cent of someone else's future. Frame it, it cost me everything and left you with nothing." Because that's what happens when you trade someone's tomorrow for your today. The debt comes due, and I'm still here to collect.